Kyle Young, if the Lions sign a top corner free agency, do they still draft a corner at pick 6? They wouldn't be forced to, but I think they would definitely do it. The position is butt cheeks. It is really bad, and just like Ant-Man was saying, it's just like you got to go whole rehaul. You got to, like, remove everything. It's that bad. I wouldn't mind it at all. It makes it so they don't have to force it. Like, oh, I have to do this. But if they want to get it, there's not going to be a problem. I still think if they signed, like, a Jamel Dean, they're probably taking a quarter in the first round. Would be 18 or 6, or at 9 if they trade back. Still do. Paul Ginder, $5 super. Thank you so much. Hashtag FGB. Hey, Mike and Ant-Man, what do you guys think if we go for Cooper Rush as a quarterback 2? I would love Cooper Rush. I think he'd be a perfect quarterback 2. I mean, literally, his style is perfect for what we got going on. Coming back to Michigan, he did well in for Dak Prescott, but a new name is in the fold as a backup potential that I was hearing, Teddy Bridgewater. So that could be something the Lions look at, but I would love Cooper Rush. Paul, thank you so much for that super chat. What do you want as a backup quarterback, Ant-Man?
It's my belief that they're going to go through the draft for a backup quarterback. Given who I'm seeing that they're meeting with, they've met with DTR, they've showed heavy interest in Jalen Fowler, who's the quarterback at Brad Holmes' alma mater. And I was talking with some guys about him who know a lot more about him the other day, and they reckon as a backup in this league, he will do really well. So I think you're going to see the Lions backup come from the draft, particularly day 3.
Steve says, no way they draft a corner at 6. Not worth it. I remember a couple years ago I was saying they're taking Okudah at 3. Everyone said they're not doing it. So don't ever say it's not happening. They very well could. They absolutely, unless someone falls. So you never know. Maybe a Jalen Carter falls and they're okay with it. Maybe a Will Anderson falls. Maybe there is a trade offer at 6. I think that's the most realistic in all honesty. Go ahead, Ant-Man.
I would just kind of ask back, who is worth it, though? You know, there's no quarterback there really worth it. There's no offensive linemen who are worth it. There's no defensive tackles who are worth it outside of Jalen Carter. I mean, you can say it's not worth it for corner, but it's not worth it for pretty much every other position.
Let's go through each position. Wide receiver, would you take one at 6?
Hell no.
Offensive lineman at 6?
Hell no.
Tight end at 6?
Of course. No, I'm joking. No.
Would you take a running back at 6?
No.
Would you take a quarterback, Will Levis, because he would be the one that's potentially there? Okay, let's go the defense. What defensive tackle would you take at 6?
Carter, and that's it.
Okay, Carter. So if he's not there, you're not taking one. Edge rusher. You're going to take an edge rusher at 6?
No, because Tyree Wilson's all the hell overrated. So is Miles Murphy. So, no.
I like Will Anderson. I don't think he's going to be there. Are you going to take a linebacker at 6?
No.
Are you going to take a safety at 6?
No.
Are you going to take a kicker at 6?
Well,
long snapper.
There's some good kickers. Well, you know, if you talk to Matt about that one, he'd take a long snapper at 6. So he'd just not like Scott Daly. And I think the value is important. I mean, how many times, Mike, have we said over the last few years, like, we're sick of watching our secondary get shredded because there's no guy on the outside who can cover a damn wide receiver? It's absolutely critical to this team. So pick 6, no pick is too rich to get the right guy in this draft at quarter there.
Pick 6 with a player that gets a pick 6. Look, I don't care. I go BPA. That's the way that I draft. I know we're a little bit different here. If I love Will Anderson, even though Jalen Carter's with the issues, once that stuff gets resolved, if it's fine, those I have higher, okay? Those are, if one of those guys there, that's probably the route that I'm going to go. But if you're talking about Will Levis, Christian Gonzalez, or like a Tyree Wilson, I'm probably going to go Christian Gonzalez. Or if it's Dever Witherspoon, I'll probably go. That's my personal preference. So I think that's the way you got to be. Got to be. Hashtag LNU 26-year-old Michael Jackson, senior cornerback from Seattle, took 93% of 2022 snaps and had a good year last season. Could he grow into a number one spot at Detroit?
He couldn't even get in our team when he was here. He's our old Michael Jackson. He used to be on the Lions. I would say no, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, could be wrong. $20 super here, hashtag FGP.
Yeah.
2 questions. Thank you so much, Mike McCall, for that super chat. By the way, show some love to Mike McCall. He says, what have you heard about the competition for Deuce? I have not heard anything about progress in signing any of our free agents. Zero progress on any of our free agents signing. I have heard absolutely nothing. And Mike McCall, I've been asking around, and zero zip nothing. No rumors on it. I have no idea. I've been asking literally every single day, and I've gotten zero on it. I tell you what, if I hear anything, I will make a video on it because I'm tired of being in the loop. Now, have you heard anything, Ant-Man? Because I've heard zip.
Not kind of listening to some of the player interviews. Like Anzalone was on a pod the other day. He said they've been talking, but all it's been is talks. Like I think they've talked with just about everybody. So I just think they're keeping the cards very close to their chest at the minute. Free agent. You've seen the amount of players getting cut right now. Some really good players. I think, you don't want to sign your free agents in if a guy suddenly becomes available on the market. So I don't think you'll see much until free agency starts and the Lions know the lay of the land and how many players are out there and who could be out there. So, no, they're keeping it very close to their chest at the minute.
If I missed your question, just repost it. I'm not intentionally trying to screw you here. Man Bear Pig with the greatest name. Again, if I miss your question, repost it. Hashtag Mailbag. Brad Holmes is going to save some cap for the trade deadline this year, mid-season, just in case the team is on the run or a player or two gets injured. Your thoughts on this? That's an interesting take, Man Bear Pig. I haven't even thought about that at all. This is the first time I even thought about someone bringing this up, saving cap just in case if you want to trade for a player. So this is what he's talking about. The Lions are doing really good. They feel maybe they're a player away to make a run in the playoffs. Trade for somebody, you have the cap space to do it. I don't know who would be on the market or what they'd be looking at, but that is a smart plan to have. Even if they don't have money, though, Man Bear Pig, they can always do a restructure if they're wanting to make a move like that with pretty much anybody, whether it be Jared Goff himself. They're going to probably like I said, they're going to do a restructure there with Big V, but you got Taylor Decker's got a big contract, Frank Ragnow. So if they're wanting to make a move, they could do that. But being fiscally responsible just in case is smart. What do you think about that idea, Ant-Man? Saving money. Lions are doing good. It's like, you know what? Let's get this one piece where we can make a significant run.
I mean, it is something that could happen. Me personally, I don't think it will, simply because we don't have much money this year. And, people might say, oh, you got 40, 50 million. That's going to disappear very quickly, let me tell you, because we've not even started signing the free agents. The 2 first-round picks cost you nearly 10 million alone. Your money soon vanishes, and I don't think we're going to have that much of it, especially to save it for, going forward. And we've got no more first-round picks, no extra picks after this season. So trading draft capital in season is risky, especially if it's a rental. I think the way he builds it, he tries to use as much of his resources as he can on the team now. Because let's not forget, he's not had much money to spend on this team. He's had to be very frugal in the last 2 free agency classes because he's had no money. And, I think it's going to be the same again. I think he'll spend what he can now and keep developing the team. But, this time next year, if you were to ask me that, because we will have a lot of cap, I'd probably agree with that.
Hashtag Smash the Hole. Do you think Jamaal Williams and Swift will be our running backs this incoming season? Swift's going to be here. He's still on his rookie deal this year. I don't think he'll be here after this year. Jamaal Williams haven't resigned yet, and I'm kind of waiting for that. What the hell is going on? They want him to come back. He wants to come back, but now you're hearing there's other teams in the mix. I don't know. Each day passes, it feels like the odds gets less, but you assume they want him back, but I don't think Brad Holmes is willing to overpay for Jamaal Williams. What is your take on Jamaal Williams here?
I think he's in a very difficult position with the Lions because of the draft class. It's so stacked at running back. And, I mean, you've got DeAndre Swift for one more year on a cheap deal. They're not going to get rid of him just because of the sheer value for money. He could play well just for a quarter of the season. He justifies his contract. So I don't think from a point of view, I think he's just going to struggle in that regard. And like you say, someone might pay him. I want him back. Don't get me wrong. I want him back. But again, with the money situation this year and how it is, I'm not paying a bigger 1 year deal, like much bigger than what he had last year. I'm certainly not going over like $5 million or something like that.
Trade Jeff Okudah. Philip C. says, trade Jeff Okudah. That's an interesting take. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to give him one more year here with this system. But what if he sucks in the trade deadline? That could be something. Like he gets benched. Because what I was told is Jeffrey Okudah is competing for the number 3 spot. That's what I told. Like he's competing for number 3 right now, and we ain't got nobody on the roster that's worth a damn besides Jerry Jacobs. So what do you think of potentially, if he sucks, like he's benched a couple games and the trade deadline's coming up, I would trade him. What do you think?
You wouldn't get a thing for him.
I want to.
You know, at best, you might get a conditional day 3 pick for the 2025 draft or something like that. You wouldn't get anything.
And cap saving.
And cap saving, but it's the last year of his rookie deal, so generally they tend to be unfavourable when cutting. You generally tend to lose money on the last year if you cut them. So my opinion is just ride or die with him for the last year, and then make your decision when the year is over. If he's played really well, then great. Give him a deal that reflects what he's done. If not, we've given you an opportunity, and it's all about giving the players opportunity, time to prove themselves. I know Okudah said he's had so many years.
Yeah,
now, but
no, I agree. Yep.
For him to come and play as much football as he did last year after the serious injury that he had, you've got to give him one last chance. Which the question you've got on screen, the question you've got up on screen about Goff at the minute, it's like I would. Trading Goff is the worst thing that this franchise could do.
That would be a terrible idea.
So, to the guys, Happy Dan who's asked it, if you trade, this whole rebuild is based on the belief amongst the players that you can come here with an opportunity that the team will give you if you play well, and they will keep you in this team. Detroit is not a fashionable destination for players to come. You have to sell players on that. That's why players want to come here, to have an opportunity to get in this team and play well. And the team has showed that if you do, they'll give you a deal about it. If you betray the quarterback, who has played really well last year, they put faith in him last season, he played really well, he couldn't have done much different, and then you just draft a quarterback and get rid of him, that throws your culture message right out the window, and no one will take it seriously from then on. You'll go do some real damage if you just pull the rug out from under Goff right now. You can't do it. You've got to give him another year, chance to get in the playoffs and do that, and keep giving him opportunity, because that is what the message of this rebuild is.
We're competing for a playoff spot this year. This is no more like, oh, I hope. No, we're competing for the NFC North and to win a playoff game. You're not gonna really do that unless you get super uber lucky with a rookie quarterback. Rather have a veteran in there. Jared Goff's done fine. And if you do, say a C.J. Stroud in this case falls, I have no problem if C.J. Stroud fell somehow to pick 6, Lions draft him. Have him sit behind Jared Goff. I want to compete for a playoff spot and win. And I trust Jared Goff over a rookie right now. He did not play terrible. He can definitely win you a playoff game. And with Karen Rodgers leaving the NFC North, I think the Lions probably has the best shot.